This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. We're glad you're with WKYT on this day of major news. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Michelle Chamberlain. It's Tuesday, March 22nd.
And now at 6:30, breaking international news in Belgium. A series of terrorist attacks have claimed lives in Brussels and have injured dozens of others. A WKYT exclusive on the way as you'll hear from a Kentuckian who is in Brussels during this morning's attacks.
The search is on for one of two people who police say crashed into one of their cars after an early morning robbery.
And the UK women's team was looking to keep its season alive. Highlights from their second round game in the NCAA tournament.
We have the 30s this morning. It is a chilly start, but a really nice looking day once that sun does rise. 66 this afternoon, very gusty winds. There's a reason why these winds are so gusty. There's a Thursday storm system I'm going to be talking about coming up.
And we begin with a WKYT breaking news alert. An act of terrorism in Belgium has killed at least 13 people. First, there were explosions in the Brussels airport, and that was followed by another blast in the city's metro station.
The explosions happened during this morning's rush hour. WKYT's Mark Barber talked to a Kentuckian who is in Brussels this morning. Mark, what is he saying about the attacks?
Well, Michelle, he says that he could actually feel the force of those explosions at the airport shake his building because he was just 2 miles away when those blasts went off. Now, you'll hear from him in just a moment, but first, I want to take a look at the most recent numbers coming in from Belgian media. They're reporting that there are as many as 13 people dead in those airport blasts. We are also receiving reports that there were 35 people severely injured there. European Union officials are being told to stay in their offices or to just stay home altogether after those explosions rocked a metro station near EU headquarters. As the city of Brussels is under attack, Belgium is now on the highest terror alert possible. They have shut down their metro system as well as their airport. The first explosions happened during the morning rush just a couple hours ago as hundreds of people were checking into the airport. Two explosions ripped through the departure terminal near the American Airlines desk. CBS News is still working to verify reports that there were gunshots and shouts in Arabic before those blasts went off. Now, a man from Corbin, Kentucky was just a couple miles from the airport when those explosions ripped through the airport. He says he felt those blasts also shake his building. And again, he was 2 miles away. So that gives you an idea of just the power behind those blasts. When I spoke with him on the phone just a couple minutes ago, I asked if he felt safe. Take a listen.
It's crazy. It's just, you're not very many steps from going back to just every man for themselves, every woman for themselves, and it's unsettling at best, and it's eye-opening to let we're not that far from the U.S. and it's a society very similar to the U.S. So.
Now, that man tells me that he and his wife went over to Brussels with their 2 children about 4 years ago. He says he works for a government agency that he cannot name. And he says that this terror attack has them thinking about moving their family back to the States because he does not feel safe anytime he says he's even walking back to his home to work. Now, again, just the latest numbers coming out of Brussels. There are reports that as many as 13 people are dead in these airport explosions and 35 people severely injured. We do have a team here at WKYT continuously searching for new information to this developing story, so stay with us through the morning as we bring you up-to-the-minute updates right here on WKYT.
Mark, thank you very much. Unfortunately, the numbers are going up, and we have those for you in just a moment. Apparently, there have also been fatalities at the transfer station there as well. These explosions in Brussels come a day after police identified a suspect in the attacks in Paris. In November, a series of coordinated explosions killed 130 people, including almost 90 at a theater where suicide bombers took hundreds of people hostage during a concert. Nearly 400 people were injured. Many of the attackers died. But yesterday, police say DNA found on the explosives in Paris led them to naming a new suspect. On Friday, a different suspect in the Paris attack was arrested in Brussels in the same neighborhood where today's metro explosion happened. Again, CNN is now reporting that 23 people have been killed in the 3 explosions, 2 at the Brussels airport and 1 at the city's metro station, now being added to those numbers. Again, 23 so far in these explosions in the airport and metro station in Brussels. We just heard from the very concerned Kentuckian who lives there. So this story continues this morning. We'll update you as we get more on WKYT.com and throughout the day on our newscast.
Yeah, now to a developing story here in Lexington. A robbery suspect hit a police vehicle while trying to make a getaway. The robbery happened just after 4 o'clock this morning at the Marathon on Newtown Pike, but police bumped into the suspect a few minutes later at another gas station on Georgetown Street. WKYT's Mike Byer is live with new information. Good morning, Mike.
It's been a busy morning for Lexington police. We've learned from them that there are 2 suspects involved in this morning's robbery. One of them is still on the loose, and according to police, he is armed with a handgun. Now, this all began shortly after 4 a.m. this morning. That's when police say the 2 men robbed the Marathon gas station on Newtown Pike. From there, police were able to locate the 2 men right here at the Thornton's gas station on Georgetown Road and Nandino Boulevard. This is where police trying to pull the Jeep over before they got here in a red Jeep Wrangler. I want to mention first, this is where police tried to pull the Jeep over before it sideswiped into a paddy wagon and got away. Police then located the Jeep on Whitney Avenue. Then the 2 men then got out of the vehicle and took off on foot. Police were able to detain one of the suspects one road over on Douglas Avenue, but the other man remains on the loose at this hour. Police describe him as a black man standing around 5'6" and weighing 140 pounds. He's wearing black pants with a black hoodie. Police tell us he is armed with a handgun. Now, police say if you see the suspect to call the department immediately. Of course, if we learn of his capture, we'll bring that to you immediately on air and online. That's the latest here in Lexington. I'm Mike Byer, WKYT.
Thank you, Mike. Now, we're learning more this morning about why a high-ranking member of the Frankfort Fire Department was fired. Battalion Chief Ryan Fisher was let go after a 3-1 vote by Frankfort's Board of Commissioners. In newly obtained documents, we learned Fisher is accused of harassing a woman who works at Frankfort Regional Medical Center. He's also accused of commenting about a firefighter recruit getting out of the shower and sending that recruit a picture of himself in a bathtub. Frankfort police say Fisher is not facing any criminal charges, but the city says his actions violated city and fire department policy.
It's now 6:37 on WKYT this morning. A grand jury has indicted a Laurel County constable on a second-degree manslaughter charge. Investigators say Constable Bobby Smith shot and killed Brandon Stanley at a store back on March 4th. They say Smith was trying to serve Stanley an arrest warrant at the time. Investigators say Stanley was shot twice. More than a dozen witnesses testified before the local grand jury. Stanley's fiancée says he died the night before their wedding day. Smith will be arraigned on the charge next week. Today, a Lexington restaurant is joining in the effort to help a firefighter who is battling cancer. Lexington firefighter Matt Logsdon was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer earlier this year. And today, the Papa John's restaurant on Avenue of Champions will donate 25% of its sales to the Matt Logsdon Cancer Fund. Papa John's is among many businesses and other fire departments across the state who have held fundraisers and other events in recent weeks. The State House has approved a bill that would make cancer a line-of-duty death for Kentucky firefighters. That bill calls for the state to give $80,000 to families of firefighters who die from cancer. Firefighters say they are at higher risk of getting cancer because of exposure to smoke and harmful chemicals on the job. The bill has already passed the Senate. It now goes to Governor Matt Bevin's desk for his signature.
The Kentucky Senate has approved a bill that would let voters decide whether to change the state's constitution to let lawmakers restore the voting rights of some convicted felons. Kentucky's constitution does not allow convicted felons to vote.
Adair County voters are deciding today whether to legalize alcohol sales. The polls are open until 6 p.m. local time for that special wet-dry election in Adair County. All right, something cute from just up the road. 5 new cheetah cubs are settling in at the Cincinnati Zoo after being delivered in a rare C-section.
Yeah, once the births were deemed high risk, vets had to step in to perform the emergency procedure to protect both the premature cubs and the mom. The 3 boys and 2 girl cubs are getting round-the-clock care and bottle feeding, and so far everyone is doing well.
Oh, they look like it.
Look how cute they are. Oh my goodness.
Cute for now.
Well, I was going to say, I want to bring one home.
They're still cute when they're big, but you know, you have to respect them all of a sudden, right? 6:41 is our time this morning.
Let's see how traffic is moving along this morning.
Here's Officer Don with a check on live drive traffic. Good morning, Don.
Good morning. Well, no wrecks to start things off. Police are running radar this morning in the construction zone. They're on Todd's Road near Forest Hill, so be careful there. And be extra careful on the ramp from Versailles Road onto the inner loop of the circle. Some debris in the roadway in that area. Right now, the circle looks okay, as you can see, real time. No problems inbound Nicholasville Road or even Harrodsburg Road. A little red there on Richmond Road approaching the circle. That left turn lane to the inner loop's already backing up. Drive times this morning, no wrecks in the way, so we're okay coming in from Paris. It looks like Paris Pike, everything is normal. Also Winchester, you're dealing about a 25-minute ride. In Richmond, about 31. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, Don, as always, thank you. 642 on WKYT this morning with a lot more news on the way on your Tuesday.
Most people can teach their dog a variety of tricks: sit, stay, fetch. But what about paint?
What?
Yeah, what do you think of that? We'll take a look at one pup's special talent just ahead.
We have the 20s and 30s outside this morning, and then we hit this afternoon. It's going to feel much more like spring later on today and tomorrow, but that's out ahead of our next system that'll bring us thunderstorms on Thursday. We'll talk all about that coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
A really neat look on the screen here with the almost full moon. Full moon actually comes tomorrow, but it's 99% full. And really Jupiter off to the side. Really cool shot there of 75 looking downtown. The cars are flowing there on 75 in Winchester Road. We haven't heard of any issues whatsoever. Across the viewing area, 64, 75, all looks well, and even some of those byways as well. Go down BG Parkway. We're holding on to temperatures above freezing. If you go southbound, though, go into the Cumberland region, that's where we're seeing temperatures at least close to it or just below that. And also Hal Rogers Parkway, especially south of that in the Middlesboro. We're at 28 degrees early this morning, but some mild air is on its way. Really feel those winds kicking up 20 to 40 miles per hour. And when you start to feel that coming in from the south, when that typically happens, what you're going to see, temperatures rise very rapidly. We'll have roughly a 30-degree swing today from this morning to this afternoon. So if you're waking up this morning, you might need a light coat before you take off. This afternoon, you can throw that light coat in the back seat, throw on a short sleeve shirt underneath, just because once you hit the afternoon, we'll be in the mid-60s. For tomorrow, here's 5 p.m. on your Wednesday. For tomorrow, we're talking about mid to upper 60s and even a 70-degree reading here or there as we track throughout the afternoon hours. Both days, dry conditions, both days, gusty winds, and both days in the 60s, inching toward that 70-degree mark. But that's out ahead of our system. There's a reason why this is happening. There's a surface low back toward the west. And once that gets a little bit closer, it just continues to just pull in that warm air and also those gusty winds. That's the reason why we're getting those gusty winds. You head into Thursday morning. Thursday morning, yeah, if this verifies, if this particular model verifies, that's good news for us. Because when you have the rain overhead during the morning hours, it limits a lot of that heat from getting to the surface. And that heat at the surface is just bottled up energy, just ready for these storms to pass on through and allow these storms to just explode. But look at the temperature difference from where you have the rain and the cloud cover, 50s and 60s, as opposed to, say, over toward the east-southeast where we're going to be seeing some 70s. So then what happens, okay? Then you're talking about 60s and 70s there, east and southeast, and watch what happens when the line gets closer. Boom. That's when it explodes. So that's one thing to really watch out for on Thursday is when are these storms going to be moving on through? Because if it's early in the day, the opportunity for any severe weather is extremely low. But if it moves in later on, afternoon and evening, that gives us the opportunity to get some heat going on. So that's Thursday is the day to watch out for. Friday, Saturday, pretty dry, but Sunday, here comes another chance for rain. Remember, this is still a small end severe weather risk there on Thursday. This isn't a very potent system, but it's the only day we really have to watch throughout the work week. Pretty good looking work week in store.
All right, file that away in the back of your mind and enjoy today.
Yeah,
Does it sound good?
Days look good.
Right. Micah, thank you so much.
So one dog is channeling his inner Picasso, and collectors are paying hundreds of dollars for his work.
Well, he's all dressed up for it as well. Dagger, a 3-year-old lab golden mix, is a Long Island service dog, really a dropout. He's left that job, who's now taken up painting. The dog selects his colors from a palette of non-toxic paints, and with a paintbrush attached to a paper towel, every stroke and dab is Dagger's own work. The money he fetches for his paintings goes to the Canine Companions for Independence, which is the organization that Daggers came from. Looks like a
pretty good artist there.
Quite the artiste. Yeah, right. The time this morning is 6:48 on WKYT. We're keeping you updated this morning after those terrorist attacks in Belgium, and we'll have the latest in a moment.
Yes, Mark Barber will join us live in studio when we come back. Welcome back to WKYT this morning. We're tracking a breaking news alert this morning. An act of terrorism in Belgium has killed nearly 24 people.
The number's a little evasive at the moment. First, there were explosions in the Brussels airport, followed by another blast in the city's metro station. WKYT's Mark Barber has been working the story hard for us all morning long. He talked with a Kentuckian in Brussels this morning. Mark, what is he saying about the attacks?
Good morning, Bill. The man from Corbin, Kentucky says he's traveled through that same part of the airport that was targeted this morning hundreds of times. He says he was in his office just 2 miles away when those two explosions went off this morning. He says the force of the blast rocked his own building. Now, the numbers of people who were killed in this morning's terror attacks continue to climb. According to the latest numbers from CNN, at least 10 people were killed in an explosion at a metro station near the heart of Brussels. The two explosions at the airport killed 13 people and seriously hurt 35 others. The Kentuckian, who was nearby when those blasts went off, says he moved to Brussels for work about 4 years ago. He says he and his wife are now thinking about moving back to the U.S. with their 2 children because they no longer feel safe in Belgium.
When I leave work and I travel to and from work, from my house, etc., no, I don't. And I can tell you, like, it's very surreal to see pictures of the airport in that same area where I've been. I travel for work quite a bit, where I've been hundreds of times, let's say, and to see that same area, in disarray, it's very unsettling.
He says not only has all travel been suspended there in Brussels, flights into the city have also been diverted. He says that one of his coworkers had a family member who was supposed to land at that airport 10 minutes after those explosions went off. He said their flight was then sent over to Amsterdam. He says, again, a very unsettling morning for everyone in that area of Europe this morning. The Prime Minister of Belgium calling it a dark day for their country. Bill, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Mark. We'll definitely keep you updated throughout the day and on our website, WKYT.com. Now, one person is in custody, another on the run after an early morning robbery here in Lexington. That holdup happened just after 4 at the Marathon on Newtown Pike. Police actually spotted the suspect at the Thorntons on Georgetown Street. At that point, officers say the suspect hit a police paddy wagon while trying to make his getaway. No officers were hurt. Police later caught one suspect on Charles Avenue. The other, who police say has a gun, got away. Today, a Lexington restaurant is joining the effort to help a firefighter battling cancer. Lexington firefighter Matt Logsdon was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer earlier this year. Today, the Papa John's restaurant on Avenue of Champions will donate 25% of its sales to the Matt Logsdon Cancer Fund. Papa John's is among many businesses and other fire departments across the state that have held fundraisers for Logsdon in recent weeks.
The time is 6:55 right now, and on WKYT.com we're keeping you updated after these deadly explosions in Brussels this morning. It's being called terrorism. CBS this morning just being rebannered to a CBS News special report that will be coming up at 7 o'clock, and we'll keep you updated on air and online here at WKYT, including some more of our interview with this Kentuckian we've just talked with in Brussels. He is originally from Corbin. We also have a list of the Lexington schools involved in the radon reduction effort approved last night by the Fayette County Board of Education. It'll cost more than $500,000 to deal with that issue. Also trending, brides are waiting for their wedding videos from a Lexington photographer. They've had difficulty even contacting anybody about the recordings of their very big day. The Better Business Bureau tells WKYT they have given the business an F rating for now, and we have that story online. The Kentucky women headed for the NCAA Sweet 16. They defeated Oklahoma last night after pulling away late. They won it 79-58. And our web story tells about Michaela Epps getting injured and then working behind the scenes with a team doctor to get back out on the court and deliver by the end of the game. Congratulations to the Kentucky women. Kentucky.com reports on the Supreme Court justice saying courts may have to fire 600 people if proposed budget cuts come through. Again, a CBS News special report is coming up shortly on the attacks in Brussels. There you can see the CBS News team assembled and ready to go in just a little bit. Join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter or Instagram, and for the latest anytime, WKYT.com.
Yeah, it's a good-looking start to the day. We're holding on to the 30s this morning, and once we hit the afternoon, though, we'll be in the 60s and well into the 60s, too. Gusty winds 20 to 40 miles per hour. So that's something we're going to be watching not only today, but tomorrow, and then rain there on Thursday, guys.
Well, nobody is more up to date than you to start your day. Thank you so much for being with WKYT, and we'll keep you informed throughout the day.
CBS This Morning is next.